Hello, hello, hello. This is the coffee for closers for agents. And today I'm so excited to have Jonna Weber from Boise, Idaho on. Welcome.
Thanks, Rick. So good to see you representing
So
the
in
best here.
yeah, in 30 seconds or less, why should people listen? Who are you?
Uh, I lead a team. I help a lot of families in Boise, Idaho, specialize in relocation, investors, and residential resale here in the Boise market.
And for those of you who don't know Jonna, she is a rock star. She is a top producer. She is listened to nationally on many shows. And so excited to have you here today. What are you seeing boots on the ground? We're recording this August 2022. This is the new
Yeah.
normal, the new economy, the shifting economy, whatever people are calling it. What are you seeing boots on the ground in Boise?
I I'm seeing some exciting opportunities for agents, really. But what we're seeing a retraction of the number of buyers that are here in our market, and we're seeing, I think it echoes a lot of our markets, but a lot of more listings coming into play. Still in a seller's market, we're at about 2.5 months for inventory right now. But compare and contrast that with the beginning of the shutdown, for example, or in the midst of our lockdown we had in a prior year or two, and we had about 200 homes on the market. Now we've got more like 2,500 homes on the market. So definitely creeping up, but opportunity abounds in every market.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so this show, the reason why we're having this is you read and like top producers are still crushing it. And this is a time to gain market share while thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of agents are going to leave the market. So our goal in this 10 minutes, all you need to know in the time it takes to drink a cup of coffee is how can people shift? You're one of the top producers who's going to thrive in this market. What are you doing the same? What are you amplifying? And what are you doing differently to take advantage of this market?
I think what I'm amplifying is just taking leadership of our transactions and leadership and leading our clients. They need us more than ever. And it's not a time to be passive or just throw a sign in the yard, but they are leaning on us. And I think it's an opportunity. I'm leaning into leadership with my own clients, if that makes sense. They want to be led and they want to be directed. And we cannot in this market just let them get away, a seller to get away with, oh yeah, we'll try to this and we'll see what happens after a month, because this is a very price sensitive market that we're heading into. And that's where we're going to separate those of us out here that are in real estate, that are really directing and leading our clients into the right decisions that are going to lead them into success, versus that passive activity that agents were able to get away with for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And so I am excited about leaning into that and really separating the professionals from those that are just kind of think looking at houses is fun. And I think ultimately I'm seeing in this market that I'm earning more respect from my buyers and sellers than ever before, because they realize that they can't just go it alone and they can't do it on their own. And so it enables us an opportunity to be the most professionals and raise our game, and that's going to make them tell others as well. So it's going to create more success.
Absolutely. So you talk about leading your client. Give us an example of what that means, because some people might not, if you've been in the market only 2 or 3 years, you throw a sign in the yard, the house sells. So what does leading a client mean? How do you do that? How would you coach one of your new agents? Because I know you coach and you work with a lot of new agents.
Yeah.
How do you mentor them to lead a client?
Well, we operate with the facts. We share them the market, what's going on in the market, show them, stats don't lie and pricing doesn't lie for what's going on in their neighborhood and the days on market and that sort of thing. And it means having some meaningful but sometimes tough conversations at the beginning of it. It's a fine balance, but I think a lot of times as realtors, we're pleasers and we just want to tell them everything is perfect, but we only get one chance to make that first impression. I work mainly with listings, so I'm speaking to listings right now, but to get everything dialed in and just perfect, because that one buyer that comes in that first weekend, it may be your only showing for that weekend. So it's not like there's 100 more down the pike. We've got to come on as we've got to come on with a splash and be dialed in and be the prettiest, literally house on the block, or the, prettiest girl at the dance in order to get picked. And so, and with pricing, it's the same thing. And we make sure that we're priced at a very attractive price point without leaving money on the table. And that really is it's an art and a science. And so, if you get really dialed in and good at that, it's going to pay off in spades.
And I do think pricing is so important right now. I was talking to Lee Jennings up in Seattle, as another outstanding agent like you. we were having a debate. It was a fun little debate in a commute, in a car ride, about what's more important, pricing or marketing, and what are the roles those two play. What would you say on that debate before I tell you how we weighed in?
Well, I think it kind of depends on the market. Today, I would say pricing. We are so price sensitive right now here in our market. In the Boise market, we led the nation in price reductions in the month of June. I think we're at 61% price improvement or price reductions. And so, we don't want to be the one. And we've had some this year for the first, even my team for the first time in many years, we're having those conversations. And so I think right now I would say price.
Yeah, and Lee was saying price too. Price is so important. But my counterpart to that was, but your marketing draws people to see that the price is a good value, right?
Totally.
So if you have a junky cell phone picture of the inside of a house and you price it low, no one's going to think it's a good value because you're just advertising a junky property. But if you have gorgeous marketing and an attractive price, then people say, wow, that price is attractive. So I think you need the price, you need the marketing to show that the price is a good value.
Yeah. Oh, it's the whole picture. I mean, it's really like this. They have to go together, and you've got to get really, really skilled and good at both of them.
And one of the things that I've been doing recently that I haven't had done before is I'm actually able to execute my full plan, right? But now I'm also adding to it, right? Now I not only do the Matterport 3D and the floor plans, but I also make sure I do a Zillow 3D tour too, because they don't play nice with Matterport. But it bumps you up in the Zillow search results. And like it or not, our clients are searching, the buyers are searching Zillow and Realtor.com. You can set up any app you want on your phone and they're not using you. They're going to the places they're comfortable. So you play their game, right? And it doesn't take much to download a Zillow 3D app on your phone and put up 4 or 5 rooms just so you bump up the Zillow listing and get your pretty picture seen and get your open house seen. Are you doing things like that in Boise?
Yeah. Well, you just got me on that one because I have not done that specific to Zillow. We do great virtual tours and so forth, and we put our listings on YouTube and all that good stuff. And I think those are just like must-tos in today's market. But I'm going to start incorporating that. That's great. And you're right. You'll find you have the most fancy search set up for someone, and they'll still like snapshot you and share with you a home they saw on Zillow, even though you've got your own search set up for them. So I think that's a perfect analogy. And that speaking of Zillow, that's another thing that we always do is before we go on a listing appointment, we check and see what that Z estimate is. Not that we know it's accurate. We know it's not accurate. We're in a non-disclosure state, but we know that that's what the seller is looking at. So never discount, those kind of sources. That's part of your marketing strategy for sure. And I think that's brilliant what you've been doing.
Yeah, and the A in Zillow stands for accurate, right? So we know that this estimate's not that accurate, but you're right in that and when you're talking to a seller, one of the things Lee and I were talking about yesterday is that the average buyer doesn't know those estimates inaccurate, right? So if they're looking at and they see 765 and you're priced at 775, they're going to say, well, this home's overpriced. So you have to play the consumer game too now that you didn't have to play before. It used to be you could be ballpark, but now if that estimate's under your price point, it's going to hurt you. It just is.
Well, and I want to follow up, Rick. Tell me if we're out of time, but
no, we're good.
Tell me, you talk about this enables us to use our full marketing. And I think that's right. And so that's, if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is such a pain. I'm not getting this listing sold for 30 days. But think about the marketing opportunities that we have, not only to market their home, but to market ourselves as agents and enact that, we've got a 12-week selling strategy and we haven't had to use it for 5 years. Right? Like the things were just sold, but now we get to do open houses. We get to talk to the neighbors. We get to have all these different touch points throughout the process. And the other thing is so important right now when you're not selling a home in the first 12 hours is to make sure that everything you do it well, but you tell your clients what you're doing. You do it well, and then you tell them what you did. Because otherwise, if you're silent, they're going to think you're off, you're afraid of the situation, or you're just off helping other people and you're ignoring them. So it's really important that communication is so critical right now on a, sometimes a daily basis.
That's my takeaway too right now. Do it well, and tell them.
Right.
And one of the things I've been doing today is I've been running my Realtor.com reports and adding my seller. I've been running my Zillow reports and adding my seller. I've been running my MLS reports and adding my seller so they get automated updates, whether I'm doing it or not. And then having a communication strategy and letting them know, maybe it's every Friday I'm going to communicate with you, whether you like it or not, whether there's something to share with you or
Yeah,
not.
I
Or
do
maybe it's every
Thursdays.
Tuesday and Friday before noon, you will hear from me. And if you don't, I've been in a car accident, right? Like, let them know I'm going to be in touch, and we're going to have the hard conversations, and we're going to tear the Band-Aid off, but there's never going to be a reason you're going to leave me, because no one's going to be doing something that I'm not doing. And if there's anything you want me to address, let's address it now. Let's have the hard conversation on Tuesday so that I can fix it by Friday when we go into that market rocking and rolling.
Right.
It's 10 and a half minutes. Oh my God, we're out of time. This flew.
This is good.
So, Jonna, I'm so excited to see you in Dallas next week, but everybody else, how do they reach you? Cell phone, email, website, what do they have?
Yeah, jonnaweber.com. We love referrals. We do a lot of relocation in Boise. JONNAWEBER.com, jonnaweber.com. All my contact information is right there.
Awesome. And if you need to reach me and you're listening to this on audio, Rick Janson, 303-589-2320, rickjanson.com, AO, Janson, rickjanson.com. Jonna, so good to see you. And we'll meet in person for the first time in 3 years next week.
Looking forward to it. Case, have a great day. Go and grow and enjoy your weekend.
All right. Bye.